This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Thursday, June 9th. Sorry I'm late. We're late recording. You would never know that if I hadn't have told you. But I had to go back to my desk to get my cheater reading glasses. Because how many of these podcasts have we done now? Are we like up to 200
Over 150. Yet? Actually, I should look. Why don't I look?
Like that. It's taken me this long to realize I should just keep a pair in the booth and a pair at my desk instead of walking back and forth with the same pair. You know why?
I kind of thought you did.
I have 10 pair in my desk.
All in the same place?
Why? Yeah. So why do I need on my nightstand and my night table? I have 8 pair. I have none anywhere in the house because I want to know where they all are. So I'm going to keep. I'm this day old when I realize I'm going to keep 1 pair here in the booth. And
this is podcast 165.
It's taken me 164 previous podcasts where I realized I have a spare pair of reading glasses now in the booth right there. There they are. So when I forget again and have to wander out in the middle of a good song, and it bothers you because you know I'll dance when I walk out. It's nothing worse than walking out during Uptown Funk because
I would be more upset if you didn't dance, Mark, because then I would know he's serious today.
Yeah. So if I didn't dance, it'd be like, what did I say? When you walk
with purpose,
it's
kind of like, oh no.
Okay.
That's okay.
Let's check the mailbag this morning.
But hold on, I just want to draw one thing back, and we don't have to focus on it. But I love how you said I'm this days old because you are now the second person today to use that phrase. And as I pointed out to you, and it is so funny because it was also today that you realized Diane Keaton was in Justin Bieber's video.
We played Ghost this morning, and I had seen the video, and I was not that observant that I realized it was actually Diane Keaton.
You thought they had gotten someone that looked like Diane Keaton.
Well, here's the horrible thing. This is what makes me terrible. And I'm scared saying this stuff. I know Diane Keaton doesn't listen to our podcast, but it is now out around the world. I thought they got somebody to make it look like a younger Diane Keaton.
No, she looks that
like
good.
Like a Looking for Mr. Goodbar, right? Like a circa First Wives Club movie, right? Like it's about 20 years old. To be Justin Bieber's mom. Then you say, no, A, it's Diane Keaton, and B, she's playing his grandmother in the video.
Yes, because his grandfather passes away in the video, hence the ghost.
And it's a good video.
It is a good video. Yeah. And it did raise the questions about how did it all come about? Because Diane Keaton and Justin Bieber together, kind of an odd couple. Odd pairing.
I think neither one of them would say, hey, that's the project we should do.
Exactly. So thank you to our listeners and we've had a lot of, we're hitting some buttons, I think, today because we've had a lot of feedback.
Yeah, the one listener said Diane Keaton met Justin Bieber on Ellen a few years ago. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
So she was a fan of his music and thought he was a cutie, and that's how they connected.
I love that she was a fan of his music because that, again, makes me go, thinking that.
There's a big jump, though, from thought he was a cutie to doing a music video, but okay. So that came up this morning. And then we talked about the fact that I was at the...
that you love books.
So I'm at the Alzheimer book sale yesterday. So Tuesday is full regular price, which is...
This is one of their book sales. This is their used book sale week.
$3 for a paperback and $4 for a hardcover. That's regular price. I go on Wednesdays where it's half price because I want to save.
Because you're a little frugal.
Yeah. So the over-under in the number of books I was going to buy was 4.5.
I said you would come home with 5 books.
5 books. And I came home with 6, and somebody texted this morning when I said that he bought 6 because he didn't want to prove Charity right.
True.
There is a great deal of truth in that statement.
As soon as I pigeonholed a number, as soon as I confirmed and said it on the air, I'm like... Now he's going to buy more. He could buy, he's probably going to buy twice as many books now because I've put the challenge out there that...
He's going to buy 2 atlases and a cookbook just to prove me wrong.
I am surprised that it was only 6.
I got 6 of them. So I do it once around because they're all tables. So I do it once around. And what I do is...
that you have a whole routine, a whole plan.
Well, I'm not organized. So the once around begins. And books that catch my eye right away that I want to get, I snag because I got
They
those.
might be gone the next time around.
And then some are like, well, that's interesting. I like that author, or there's an author I wanted to start reading. I wonder if that's one of their earlier books.
This is what you say to yourself.
In my occasionally out loud.
This isn't someone else speaking to you. You're saying this. Okay.
No. I have wonderful self-conversations.
Okay.
And so I make my way around. So I'm doing the second pass. I now have 5 paperbacks in my arms. And they are great, usually with, did you want to start a pile here? And they'll keep them for you, so you don't have to keep. And then they
don't weigh you down.
Exactly.
Exactly. You start making a mess.
But I'm looking like a little prepossessive, and I'm hoarding them in my arms. A woman comes by, a little bit older than I am. I don't know. Don't judge me. And she's eyeing my pile.
In your arms.
Yeah. And then she's looking down at the books that I'm looking at, and she points to a Michael Connelly book called The Drop that I really enjoyed. That was a really good book. And she said, you should read that one. And in my mind, I went, mind your own business.
Don't bug me. I'm in the zone.
I usually work alone except when charity's here. Get lost. But I didn't say that out loud because it's a charity event.
And you're a nice guy.
Society. I am a nice guy for all of my... I can be engaging. As I've said before, in the demos, I kill in the older women demo.
Exactly. They love you.
Me.
So you play it up.
I am a charmer.
So what did you say?
So I said, I have read that. And as a matter of fact, that book was the whole theme of the 3rd season of Bosch on Amazon Prime. You should watch that. So not to be deterred, she said, well, if you haven't read anything by Kathy Reich, you really should. So from my pile, I grabbed the bottom book, which was one of hers I hadn't read. I said, yes, I'm already. So now I was like, yes, I'm already reading her.
Stop telling me what to read.
In my head, that's what I'm saying.
I already have a book.
See, in my head, outside, I said, oh, thank you. That's very helpful. I already have one here. And she said, well, I think I donated that. And she gave me her initials. She said, if you open on the inside, my initials should be in there. And sure enough, they were.
Oh, okay.
So now it's not just
nice
enough
of her to donate books.
Yeah, that she does that. And I said, yes, according to this, it has been lovingly donated. She said, no, it was read. I thought, okay, I was trying to be cute, but now we're not going to get along. You and I, we've just broken up. But it looked like it was a relationship at the bookstore. Not anymore. But then I got a text that I had to come home because I'd been there for 3 hours. My wife's like, come on, what are you doing? Right, all right. So then I grabbed her a Daniel Steele hardcover book and me 5 paperbacks. So that's $7.50 and $2, $9.50.
Wow.
In my books yesterday. So I got 6 of them.
Well, but finish the story.
And so that's the story. I'm not sure.
Because you mentioned this morning as well that this woman continued to look at the books.
So then she buys whatever she buys because she did buy some. And then she said, I'll see you again in September. And I thought, oh, there's another one in September. Good. And then as she's walking past, she's like, there's more of my books over there. Okay.
Yeah, like I thought she did another lap looking for her books. Did she not continue to look for her books?
She kept looking to see where her books was that she donated. Like, where's that section of books donated by this woman? My books are over there. So I guess what she's thinking is, if I'm picking up her books that I think I agree she likes. You would agree. Any books that she would have donated, she would think I would also like.
And I'm sure that's what it was, but it sounded funny when you were talking about it.
Yeah, because it sure didn't come off that way. That's not how I processed
Adventures with Mark and shopping.
I just want to get these books.
I would love to just be a fly on the wall.
No, you wouldn't.
When you're shopping, just to observe these interactions, because you come back with some hilarious stories.
I have to go shopping today.
I am fortunate that I do not have the voice that you have, nor you have worked in this area for quite some time, a lot longer than I have.
Yes, that is unfortunately, for the sake of our listeners, very true.
That is a wonderful thing, but because you are known, people know you, people know your face, and as I just said, your voice, and quite often, I would say maybe your voice gives you away more than people seeing you.
Occasionally. So it happened once at the grocery store.
It is funny when you come back and tell me these stories that people have recognized you or come up to talk to you.
A woman at a grocery store said, oh, I knew you were there because I heard you. Because, of course, what happens? I'm talking with the older woman behind me in line. Because I'm charming again.
Yes.
So I'm talking to her. So she checked, like, hi, Mark, how are you? I said, oh, good. I'm sorry if we met.
Again.
And because, of course, it's the demo, right? I do so well in that demographic. And I said, I'm sorry, have we met? And she said, no. But there are 2 of you that when you come in the grocery store, I don't have to look up. You and Jack Miller. I know both of your voices.
Yeah.
And that's great company to be in for a guy who's been broadcasting in this town a long time.
I remember standing in line
pretty funny.
at Canada's Wonderland and hearing a voice behind me. And it was a former coworker. And as soon as I heard him laughing, I'm like, No way. Like, I haven't worked with him for maybe 5 years. And of all the places, we worked together in Ottawa together. And here we are at Canada's Wonderland. And I turn around slowly and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you. But those moments are really fun. I have to ask the question, what is has there ever been a really awkward, this brings to mind an awkward interaction of being, for lack of a better term or description, recognized?
I don't know.
Have they ever mistaken you, or has there just been a weird? Because I have one, and I'm happy to share it.
I'd love to hear it.
But
I don't. Certainly not off the top of my mind, which is probably a very good thing.
Because it doesn't happen to me like it does for you. I can go
nearly as much as people think it would.
Really, like, way under the radar. I can sneak in and out, and people don't recognize me. They recognize you, but they don't recognize me. Well, then I better be better behaved, I guess, when I'm out. But I remember
hasn't stopped me.
This, and I think I told you this story. I remember when I was having Nathan. I was in the hospital. I'd had a C-section, and at the station I was working at the time, that's what they were piping in the ward,
right?
In the maternity ward. So the nurses knew, and I hate saying it this way, but they knew who I was.
Sure, yeah.
They knew that I was there, and they knew that I was recovering from the C-section, and it was like a day after. So I'm still. Anyone out there who has given birth knows what your body goes through. You are not, like, it's gone through hell. It really has. And I've got tubes, and it's still in my gown, and I'm not pretty by any means. But I remember I had to use the washroom, and I was still pretty unstable on my feet. So I called the nurse just to come with me because I didn't want to trip and I didn't want anything to happen. So I am literally in the bathroom. The nurse is standing at the door watching me, and she looks at me and she says, I pictured you differently. This is within 24 hours.
I'm not laughing.
Of having my child.
By C-section.
Via C-section. Surgery.
Invasive surgery.
Major abdominal surgery.
Bringing life into the world.
I haven't slept. And I'm like, really? Huh.
What,
okay.
different hair color?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how did you picture me? Not like this? Okay. Fair enough.
No, I don't have a story like that at all.
Maybe I shouldn't have shared that, but it was one of those moments where I'm like, really? Of all the really? Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that this isn't how you pictured me.
We wanted to know how the Alzheimer's Society hours were. I think it's the same hours as the mall, but somebody said, FYI, Alzheimer's Society, 8:30 to 4:30. I look forward to it. Picked up 8 books yesterday, so I said, was that you eyeing my pile, so to speak? They just sent back, no, sorry, didn't see you there. You were still on the air when I was there. All right. So there you go. Maybe they got the Stephen King books. I didn't see one yesterday.
And I believe last time you were there, you said there were a whole bunch of them. There was like a
lot of them. Mm-hmm. But they also had the boxes underneath. But that's just a great community thing. I laugh like I'm so upset when I bump into people, but I have such a good time. I'm doing that stuff. I'm going to go get me some books. I'm going to get some books. I am like the hunter-gatherer of books.
I know you are. And then you hang on to them.
And then I read half of them and I start a pile.
But I shouldn't say that. You do have, as you keep saying, you have them sitting around the house, but you're also very good at donating them too. I
buy books that I want to keep. Isn't that weird? So I've read them.
I don't think that's weird at all.
I've read them at the library 10 years ago and I think, I just want to have a copy of that book. Like my favorite book of all time, is To Kill a Mockingbird. But now I'm going to be a snob. That's literature to me. Like that's a school one. That is like
that's a classic.
Pulitzer Prize winning. That's the one that I've got.
Yeah.
But of all the other books that I love, Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth is one of my. So I went and bought a pristine copy on hardcover and paperback, and I'm keeping them. So I always have them. If anybody says, "What's your favorite book?" Yes, I've read them each. I've read them 3 times. And I go back and I read it again. And it's like Jimmy talks about watching a movie more than once. Mm-hmm. And even on the 3rd read through, I'll go, wow, I just recognize the significance of that part. Or it struck me different. Or I don't remember how they get from this part to that part. And then you read it, it's like, oh, that's so good. Yeah. Just one of those great books.
Well, we talked about it last week, the comfort that a book can have. Mm-hmm. And I experienced that actually after we talked about it too, walking through a used bookstore. And I don't know, I can understand why people draw comfort from books. There is something very comforting about being surrounded buy books, buy physical books, not your tablet, not a newspaper, like a book, a good book. It's amazing. So I'm not surprised you hang. We all have our favorites. For me, it's the Harry Potter series.
Sure.
And Laugh, but I have the Twilight series, all hardcover.
Yeah, Laugh, and it's great.
And I wouldn't say they're my favorite books, but I enjoy them, and there's just something about them.
Well, there's a reason why it has
I
such
treasure
a
them.
following.
I do treasure them, but there's other ones that my grandmother gave me, and books that I read throughout my childhood that I will never part with. I will always have them.
I have a question for you, Charity Brown. Why do you have an almost unlikableness of tablet reading? Why do you talk about needing a book? Because I have a tablet too.
It's just holding that, as I've said to you, I don't know if it's some sort of tangible thing, just having it. I just love holding a book. To me, and I understand it's incredibly convenient to be able to read on your tablet. Mm-hmm. I want the book. I want to physically have the book to read. I love having it there and laying around on my bedside table. I love holding it. I draw comfort from it.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't have my pile of books if I would just commit to the Kobo all the time.
But you read off that as well.
I do all the time.
And do you prefer one over the other, or do you find it the same?
It doesn't matter to me because I'm addicted to the story, like wanting to read and get the story.
See, that's part of the story for me, I guess, is the book.
Yeah. But I take a look at that and I think, okay, because that's, I don't want people to lose their jobs. But no trees got cut down and no ink got printed and no shipping had to be done. You wrote a book and now I'm reading it in a thing and everything's going technological anyway. So I hope you can make the jump because I don't want you to stop reading.
I won't stop reading. Yeah. But I also don't think they're going to stop making books anytime soon either.
Yeah, because they're still making CDs and records and stuff. It's not all digital downloads from music.
So now you're saying I don't love the planet because I read books?
Well, I just thought that you were more responsible. It's Mark and Charity.
All right. On that note, what was it you said this morning? Today's going to be a good day.
Okay, we're going to talk about it because you don't want to do it.
Than
There's
yesterday.
a story that came out that the biggest asshole.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
I just want to talk about it. In everybody's life, like who has it think about it? And they boiled it down and they said it tends to be a middle-aged man. Mm-hmm. And because they are
look at the biggest ones around the world.
Yeah, they're aggressive, argumentative, and entitled. And those are the 5 qualities. They said, now likely, who are they? And they said ex-boss, distant family member, ex-friend, somebody that you just can't be with anymore. And for 1 in 3 people, it's still in their life, and it makes them crazy.
And it's going to kill you because if you can't be optimistic, which we also talked about today, I would rather focus on that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a woman. By being a half glass full kind of person, you can extend your life by 4 years. You can live to the age of 90, which is,
more
I believe,
likely to,
what was the percentage? 52% higher than pessimistic peers. Mm-hmm. You can live that much longer.
So on average, 4 years longer.
So
if the average age of a woman is 86 years now in North America,
you could live to be 90 just by being more positive. So if you have any of those quote unquote assholes in your life, it's time to cut the cord and get rid of them.
Ditch them and get rid of them. And we started getting the
Distance
text like,
yourself.
Bullseye, bingo.
Well, it is. And it's funny too, because I find and I laugh because I think of my dad, because he always says as he gets older, his patience shortens. And I find myself doing that too. I find that my tolerance level for certain things has diminished.
Yeah.
My patience for certain topics, certain people, certain situations. It's like, nope, I don't need to be a part of this. I don't need to be involved. I don't need to be around you.
There are 3 stages of it.
I'm done.
And at my now advanced stage, I'm at stage 3. Stage 1 is you stay in it and you try and just convince people to get better. Mm-hmm. Stage 2 is it starts, so you walk away and you get out of it. I'm now at stage 3, which is I refuse to even be a part of that situation before it begins. And so now there are people out of my life because I just don't want to.
Yep.
So I used to tolerate them and try and make the best of it. Then it was when they start doing that, I'm leaving, and now I don't even want to be a part of it. No. And that's kind of a sad thing. But
it is a sad thing, but exactly. And when I say the tolerance level is dwindled, it's not a tolerance level of necessarily. When you say tolerance, I always think, oh, you're blocking people out, or you're being discriminatory.
Yeah. Suddenly you're intolerant, and that's
it's not that it's intolerant. It's the fact that I'm not tolerating negative behavior
Correct.
from other people
Yeah.
anymore.
I'm no longer accepting it. If you think I'm rude, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being rude.
I know.
I'm calling you on your BS.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a part of it.
If anything, you're being rude because your lack of respect and consideration for those around you
Yep.
is gone, is null and void. So if you're not going to show me the kind of respect and consideration that I would show you, then why do I
even want to hang around you?
Why am I putting forth any sort of effort? Why am I even here?
Yeah. All that was before 7 this morning.
Oh my gosh.
We got the show off and running.
Oh my goodness.
Tomorrow, I talk about the Alzheimer book sale. I love that. There are 2 enormous events going on this weekend. Like we're talking about post-pandemic, get out there. Pride in the Park is going along with the Pride Parade tomorrow.
This has been a really big week for Pride, and it's only the first week of Pride Month.
Exactly.
It's huge.
So Stacey Love
Jollicoeur
is going to be on the show tomorrow. She is basically thrust into the role to make sure, because it was sort of in between transitions of the organization. And it's like sometimes, that can happen. But to be able to finally be able to do it in person again after the pandemic, this can't be the year it falls down.
No.
So Stacey picked it up and ran with it.
Yep.
And so we'll get the run through of all that's going on this weekend. And then also Karen White's going to be on the show once again. We'll play a snippet of we had of her just a couple of weeks ago, just to remind you the importance of still making a donation for Relay for Life Saturday at Loyalist College.
It's so funny. Loyalist College. Wow. Anne-Marie Vaughn's had a big week.
Holy
Dr.
smokes.
Vaughn. So she had convocation. We talked to her on Monday. All week long. Wraps up on Saturday. Their last convocation ceremony is Saturday. And then the relay starts like right after.
Yeah, 2 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
2 o'clock till 11.
Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And it's it's
wow.
a big day Saturday.
So Stacey and Karen are going to be on the show tomorrow. We'll have your dad joke for Galaxy of Games. And I'm sure there's other various things that are going to happen between now and then that will trigger me and make me mad. No. After we identified...
But you know what? You only have one more day and then you're on holidays.
Then I'm on holidays.
Yeah.
That's right. Now I'm looking forward to that.
Tomorrow's going to be a good day.
But once we identified that most likely the biggest jerk in your life is a middle-aged man, things got awkward in here.
Oh, stop. You kept saying that and making that joke all morning.
I don't know. Is that true of you, Charity? She's like, well, maybe 3 years ago.
Only for the last 3 years.
Yes, but not as much in the pandemic when I was broadcasting from home. But boy, it came back in a hurry.
Oh, stop. To be honest.
Stop.
I can't, like I said, I've been very careful to remove myself from people. So I can't think of, I can, but they're not part of my life.
Isn't
I can
that
think
nice?
of those people,
Yeah.
but they're outside of
They're an ex.
my bubble.
Yeah.
So, and if they are exes, that's great because
Yeah.
just get rid of them.
Like they said, the 3 people can be an ex-boss, an ex-friend. Yeah. But
and there's a reason why they're your
if your
ex.
boss, your partner, and your near family member are all like that, heaven help you. If all of them are just triggering you. Anyway, enjoy Thursday. It looks like we got some of the rain. We'll see what Fairways for Fractures does at Belleville General Hospital Foundation's golf tournament at Black Bear Ridge. I don't know what that's going on at the time of we're
Rain
recording.
or shine, it's going.
Yeah.
So they'll be out there today.
Hit it long, hit it straight, and don't hit it too often. Good luck with that. It's the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Back at it tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM. And like everybody who's been texting in this morning, you can text us anytime you want about anything. 613-962-0955. When I came in this morning pre-show, somebody had texted late at night because some of our imaging on the weekend says, hey, Belleville, hope you're enjoying your weekend. 95. Hey, Trenton. Hey, Picton. He wants one for Flinton.
Oh,
he wants to have
we
a
should
Flinton.
have one for Flinton.
I'm going to record one tomorrow and put it on the show. We should both do it like Flinton. That's the kind of fun we have on our show. I can see why you don't listen. Join us tomorrow morning, 6 till 9 here on 95.5 Hits FM and the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast.